Alright, this is the loadout video that I was planning on making, that I just made but discovered after 20 minutes of recording that my mic wasn't shared. Um, so, I know I said in the last video I'd make one, and here you can see I put one together for everyone who's new to the game. Again, just a reminder that this is for people new to the game, not for those who've played it for a long time. So, let's begin. When you first get the game and you load up the multiplayer, you're not going to have a lot of boosters, guns, and equipment unlocked. So this is literally just tailored for you. The best gun that you're going to get of all the guns that you unlock at first is the FAL. It's mainly for long range players. You wouldn't use this in close range situations, but if you can get good with this, I would highly recommend getting good with this, because this is one of the best guns in the game. For those from COD, if you do use the settings that I suggested in the last video, this will be a really good gun to use, because I know you have good shots on console. So yeah, definitely use the FAL. Pistol, it's debatable. I know you're going to have people in the comments who are saying that the Aegis is the best pistol, so on and so forth, but the power is the most accurate that you get at the start of the game. You don't really want to be using the Aegis, because you're going to most likely run out of bullets in the clip before you actually down someone, and most likely going to lose a lot of gunfights through reloading. So use the power up first, then move on to the Aegis is what I would advise. The Fossa is also good. Could use the Fossa with the paired up with the FAL. That would be a good combo. Either or really, Para or Fossa, whatever works best with your loadout. The Fossa is just basically an automatic pistol, as it says, fully automatic machine pistol, so use that if you want. But I think personally the Para would probably be the best thing to use if you're planning on using this loadout. Moving on, revive pack. Now, you might think, why would I use a revive pack when I've got a grenade, or I could use, say, a mine or something else that's lethal? You've already got a FAL, which is one of the best guns in the game. You've got a Para, which is a really good pistol. A big part of this game is the revive system, and in TDM, revives win you the game, full stop. There's no question about that. Even in other game modes, a lot of good players who you're going to be playing alongside, who have been playing the game for a long time, will really appreciate if you have revive packs on and you're picking them up. And not only that, but you get a lot of cash in this game through reviving. You get just a silly amount of cash through playing the support role. So it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your team. It's going to enable you to buy heavy weapons, Dorados, Mysticals, whatever you want to buy. You know, you're going to be able to do your challenges quicker, because you're going to be able to buy those heavy weapons in the challenges. You're going to be able to buy those Mysticals, those sidekicks that it's asking you to call in. So definitely use revive packs. The alternative, if you've looked into it, is Chintamani stones. But what I would say, you know, to argue against this is, yeah, it's instant, as you can see in that little video, but it's $350 for the first one. It gets progressively more expensive. They don't recharge, and revive packs literally are free as long as you put them on your loadout. They recharge. They can heal you up to full health if you upgrade them in game. And you just seem to get so many of them throughout the course of a normal public match. So I would suggest using revive packs personally. So yeah, moving on to stealth, which is one of the first boosters that I think you should be using. You get this by default when, you know, as one of the first boosters that you get on your loadout. The reason I say to use stealth is, if you read this bullet point here, enemies don't see you during their spawn fly-in. Now, this alone is really good, because most people, when they first play the game, they won't have the right loadouts on, they won't be using stealth, they probably won't have watched this video. So basically, when you spawn in without stealth on your class, you're bright red for everybody else to see. So say you've just killed a guy, you reposition, you've got yourself in a good cover, whatever, you're looking for other people to kill. As soon as he spawns, he's going to see you in bright red on his screen, and he's going to know exactly where you are, you know, for the, I don't know, a few seconds I think it lasts. That's something you definitely don't want to happen. So if you are a stealthy player, or you just don't want to be taking free deaths, or you don't want to be seen, please throw on stealth. This is a really good booster. It'd also be really clutch to have in TDM. So if it's a really campy game, you've just got a really good kill, and say someone on the other team's just spawned up, they know exactly what cover you're camping in, and they just toss a nade and they down you. You definitely don't want to be that guy that gets downed in a really close TDM match. So throw on stealth. The second level of stealth, this is where it really starts to get good. Cannot be marked by enemy players. That's the third bullet point. So if we just take a look at the boosters in this game, you've got one marking booster here. So the first level of it, mark enemies by aiming at them and pressing L3. This isn't that good, so when you use the first level of this, it only leaves a tiny little arrow just above the enemy player's head. But when you get onto marking 2, so same as level 1, and then it says outline marked enemies. That third bullet point is where it really starts to get good, because when someone just aims at you and presses L3, your whole character becomes outlined in bright red for their whole team to shoot at you. Now, marking level 3, granted it's 5 loadout points, but if you are out in the open, say, and your teammate's camping in a cover next to you, and you both don't have stealth, if the guy on the other team aims at you with this booster on at level 3, both of you get marked in bright red for his whole team to see, and potentially run at you and try and kill you. So, I mean, it could work both ways. You could be playing stealthy, and the guy next to you doesn't have stealth on as well as you, and he gets marked, and both of you are bright red. You know, either way, you just don't want to be getting marked. So, and then there's also this booster as well, which a lot of tryhards use because they're lazy. Mark on damage. As soon as you shoot someone, they become outlined in bright red, which is basically the same as marking, but it's just for lazier players who just can't be asked to mark someone mid gunfight. So I would definitely suggest throwing on stealth, perhaps even stealth 2, just to avoid these marking boosters. Combat marking. This is probably the best booster in the game, in my opinion. All the really good players use this. You'll see it in a lot of their videos. Level 1, you'll read it and you'll think, why is this guy telling me to throw on combat marking? But what I want you to do is read level 2 and the last bullet point on this, which says, show the enemy's name tag that has damaged you for 5 seconds. So the situation is you get shot in the back, you don't know where you've got shot from, but you have this booster on. You turn around, you turn your camera around, and you see exactly the guy where he shot you from, because his name tag will be through the wall, and it will last for 5 seconds. Now, if you go on to level 3, show the enemy's name tag that has damaged you for 10 seconds, and when you get down on the floor and you press X, the target becomes outlined. Now, I think this is probably the best hands down booster in the game. Definitely level this booster up. Now, I'm pretty sure you level up stealth through charge melees, but if I am wrong, correct me in the comments. But Ghost is the same thing. You level up with getting charge melee downs, and you definitely want to level up Ghost because audio is just such a big thing nowadays in games, because, you know, most people have a good headset, or if they don't have a good headset, they're playing on a good sound system in their living room with about 7 speakers, playing in surround sound. So if you start making jumps, you start making flanks, you start rolling around, people are going to hear where you are, and you just don't want that to happen. So throwing this booster Ghost, your movement and actions make less sound. You should really say significantly less sound, because it is difficult to hear someone that has Ghost on. I've tried it. I've played against people who have Ghost on, and I've had my headset turned up really loud and you just can't hear them. It's really difficult, so definitely throw on Ghost. Moving on, helping hand. I mean, when we get to this part of the loadout, we're basically filling in the gaps. Again, you don't have the best boosters in the world to play with when you first play the game, but Helping Hand revives allies 20% faster. You level the booster up through reviving teammates, and if you have revive packs on, it's basically a cheat because you don't actually have to sit there and hold triangle for 3 seconds to revive a teammate. You have a revive pack, which just you're going to get so many more revives throughout the course of a match with that. So throw on Helping Hand, you're literally leveling it up really quick, and it doesn't take any effort at all. And then if you get it level 3, you've got infinite revives. By holding triangle, you revive them really quick manually, and they get revived to full health. So definitely put that on if you want to be a good team player. These boosters, I mean, I suppose you could level up marking, but you don't have the most loadout points to play with at the beginning anyway. So using a booster that takes 4 loadout points is really quite a lot, so you really want to be saving that for something like stealth, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't really rate a lot of these boosters that highly. The other ones that you have to choose with. You're going to be thinking, how does this guy have these boosters down here? Where did he get them from? I'll show you where you got them from. You get them from in the multiplayer store. You get them from buying DLC gameplay chests. Definitely, when you start the game and you start doing challenges, which you can find here, you get daily challenges. You definitely want to complete those challenges as quick as you can and invest in DLC gameplay chests. I know it's tempting to have all the nice characters and colours and things, but if you just want to gameplay wise improve, put your eggs in this basket, trust me. DLC gameplay chests, buy them, and then when you've completed that, feel free to buy whatever you want in terms of characters or whatever else. Vanity chests. I wouldn't suggest using mystical sidekick mod chests because you can level them up a lot quicker yourself, and also this hero weapon chest, you'll get hero weapons just by getting downs with the gun, so don't buy those unless you absolutely really can't be bothered. Then I suppose use them, but in my opinion it's a massive waste. Alternatively, if you want a shortcut again, you can buy Uncharted coins. I mean 1,500, 399. You can buy a lot with that. 1,500. You can get 2 of the best boosters in the game. You can get Hardened, which is here. If you do want to do this, it's up to you. You can get Hardened, best booster in the game again, or one of the best, and you can get Weapon Expert. The reason you want to use these 2 is because when you're in a gunfight without Hardened, your gun seems to kick up a lot in the air if you're getting shot at. And it sort of gives you a bit of a disadvantage in a gunfight. So when you throw this on, everything's a lot more centered, everything's a lot more solid, and your gun doesn't start waving up in the air when you're in a gunfight with someone. And then Weapon Expert, I mean, you can aim as you are vaulting over covers. You can sort of aim as you're jumping or falling, and you can cancel out of a reload early by aiming. I mean, all the tryhards use this. There's no tryhards that you can find on this game that don't use this booster, at least. So if you want to do a microtransaction, then you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm just saying, giving you options. And then also, if you do the microtransaction, there's a bundle which I'm going to find for you down here. These 2 right here. If you wanna know a good investment to make with your Uncharted coins, buy this one. Unlock all core multiplayer gameplay items. Read through that, and that's what you want to buy if you're going to make a microtransaction. Don't steer towards buying skins, because as much as they look nice, they don't actually help you in game. Buy this one. I mean, it's only $3.99 for 1,500, and you can literally buy this and you'll have everything you need, in terms of like boosters and stuff. So buy that. I've sort of waffled on a bit about that, so I've gone off track a bit, but anyway, back on track again. That's a foul loadout. This is a Copperhead loadout. Now this Copperhead is probably the best automatic gun you can get in the beginning of the game. It's the most accurate. The only thing that sort of doesn't go in its favour is that it has a scope. It automatically scopes in as soon as you aim down the sights. In my opinion, I think this is a good thing because the scope is actually a lot more accurate than, say, a gun that doesn't have a scope and it has bloom and whatnot. But this thing is a laser if you really practice with it, trust me. I've used this gun countless times, and I really do think this is probably the best automatic gun in the game. So yeah, put this on, put a power on at first because the Aegis is really iffy when you first start playing the game. I'm not sure if I explained this already. I've completely forgot. As I said, I've done this video 2 times already. But the Aegis has bloom on it, and you're most likely going to die more times with it through reloading than you are through actually getting kills with it. So put the power on. Really accurate pistol, trustworthy, does the job. Yeah, grenade. You can afford to put a grenade on with this loadout because you don't really need many weapon mods with the Copperhead. I mean, I know there are a lot. There's all these fancy things here: starting ammo, scoping radar. Both useless in my opinion. Reload speed, I suppose if you want to have reload speed, it's just a non-essential luxury to have. Silencer, it's really expensive for what it is. I mean, if you stick by your team, you don't need a silencer really. Blind fire accuracy, useless because you're not going to use it for that. And even if you do, the Copperhead has really good blind fire anyway. Scoping speed, best attachment in my opinion. Clip size, good attachment. Recoil, it's very minimal if you can control it ever so slightly. If you just have 2 steady thumbs with the Copperhead and you don't try and control it too drastically, put a lot of pressure in your right thumb on the right analog, you just keep your thumb steady when you're aiming at somebody, you don't need recoil in my opinion. If you just practice without recoil, I think it's worthwhile. So yeah, don't really need a revive pack on this loadout because it doesn't require a lot of weapon mods on it anyway. So, moving on, I've already explained why stealth is good. Helping hand, really good on this loadout because you're not running any support for your team, so you definitely want to stack up on helping hand if you can level it up. Ghost, again, really good to have because you're gonna be more or less silent when it comes to jumping around, rolling, rope swinging, etc. And Scavenger, because this gun the only thing it does do is torch ammo. You're going to find that if you don't hit your shots with it, I'm just warning you in advance, this gun runs out of ammo really quick because it's an automatic gun and it has a fairly high fire rate. So you want to put Scavenger 2, maybe 3 on if you can. Level this up really easy. Just pick up ammo drops when you kill somebody and it levels the Scavenger booster up. So yeah, that's it really. The only thing I did want to say about the Copperhead is that you don't actually need scoping speed with it because there is a slight, what would you call it? Don't know, like life hack I suppose with it. You make your life with the Copperhead a lot easier. So I'll show you in a custom game quickly what I mean. But yeah, this gun, you don't actually need scoping speed in my opinion if you just get used to doing this with it. So again, if you do have any other videos you want me to make, I'll try and get them made before I go back to work, which is on Thursday. Anything like sort of tips and tricks, and then perhaps a loadout video for those who already have things leveled up and want an updated one, or a video targeted at those, say, who have been around for a while and want a good loadout to play pubs with. So yeah, with the Copperhead, as you can see, the aim down sight speed is kind of slow when you scope in, but what I want you to remember is this game has a shoulder swap feature, so mine is X to shoulder swap when you aim down sights, like this. So say if I'm here, you want to use your shoulder swap like that, keep your character kind of concealed behind the wall, sort of aim in and out. That's what it's meant for, but you can also use this feature to sort of speed up your scoping time. So if you just aim down sights and scope in straight away, or aim down sights and shoulder swap, sorry, So you want to get in the habit of doing that. So aim down sights, quickly swap shoulders. So mine is L1 and X. So L1, X, L1, X straight away. So that is pretty much like having scoping speed on, but without actually putting the weapon mod on. So not a lot of people know that, but it also works with a sniper rifle, the Mazda, and it works with the Harbinger sniper as well, and the M14. Pretty much any gun with a scope, if you just aim down sights and quickly swap shoulders, almost do them like at the same time in sync, it's like having scoping speed on. I mean, look how fast that is compared to that. You literally just aim down sight straight away. I mean, I'm going to pull out the scoping speed class just to show you, but you can do your own testing in custom games if you want, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Not a lot of people know this tip, but I thought it'd be worthwhile. Everyone new to the game, you know, you don't have a lot of loadout points to start with, and anything helps, to be honest. Anything little sort of helps, like Tesco. So yeah. Aim down sight speed, as you can see, really quick, really responsive. You see how fast he aims down sights, but if you just shoulder swap, more or less the same thing. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know in the comments. I really appreciate the response on the last video. It seemed to get a lot of good feedback. So I'll try and make another video later on at some point if you want. Either tips and tricks, or say a loadout video catered towards the more experienced side of the community. Whatever you want, really. I don't mind. But yeah, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.